And now we get into vlog number 11 of 12. This one was about a workshop on the on audience analysis of essays. Specifically, was like it said, supposed to analyze the audiences that these essays are kind of pointed at. And the essays in question are by Saval, Postman, Shirky, and Blair. Yes, Blair. So starting with Saval, I liked how Saval was able to talk about kind of just people who listen to music as a whole, versus like singling everybody out. Um, you know, they talked about how sort of like the same sort of aspect applies to devices that music is played on. And while that sounds confusing, um, I mean like people who lose the overall group of people who listen to music, and then add in the devices that each thing is played on. Um, People are allowed to have their own taste in music, and it's good. Um, and especially with what he talks about with the iPod coming out, people are definitely able to have their own taste in music because you get your own music. Um, can't be judged based on your own playlist unless you share it. Um, and basically, he talks about how like basically when we get into our music, we become more socially distant, which is true, especially for me. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's not. It's kind of sort of like half and half. Um, Saval kind of just talking about the effects the iPod has had on the way people listen to it. So backing to the confusing thing I said in the beginning, um, you have the iPod, you have people as a whole, and now you have iPod plus people as a whole, which changes the way people listen to music. That is what I meant to say. Um, and it's true. When I listen to music with my earphones in, everything else kind of gets zoned out. I'm focused on the music. I'm focused on the lyrics. I'm focused on my emotions because I listen to most music based on my emotions. If I'm happy, I listen to happy music. If I'm kind of chilling, I listen to music with more of like a softer tone, softer vibe type of thing, um, which I feel is just normal for anybody. Um, but when I'm at like a concert, it's different. So there's like the aspect of listening to music at a concert with friends, or in my case, a rave with friends, versus kind of just zoning out listening to it on your own. But it is still in there that we become more socially distant when we're kind of in our own heads with music, which is true. Um, and then Postman goes on to talk about um, how there's kind of like the feeling of like old generation versus new generation in regards to like power. Um, and I feel like this writing was definitely kind of just aimed at his students, whereas Saval was kind of just it was targeting people who listen to music as a whole. So everybody who listens to music, that's kind of at you, and versus Postman, it's like just his students specifically. Um, but he talks about how older technology. Um, he warns in terms of technology that it's in education, it's in religion, and it's in media, um, and how including tech in everything can be a very dangerous step and very unpredictable. Wholeheartedly agree. Um, it should not be every part of our lives, and it drives me crazy that that's what's starting to happen. I don't think I don't see how I don't see the reason why we should include technology into absolutely everything. People are already worried about privacy issues, but then go and do this. So I really like how Postman brought that up and made it relevant again. Um, as far as what Shirky does, I didn't really see a direct audience here. This one kind of just seemed maybe in general to everybody, but I couldn't find a specific audience. Um, but there's no specific person who should read this and not understand kind of what the overall statement is anyway. So I feel like it's a general thing. But Shriki was talking about something my parents told me as a kid. That there's um, that our generation we're surrounded by technology. The main takeaway being that you have to take advantage of the free time you have, which I believe is true. Because, like, especially now with a pandemic, we can't do anything. Everything's closed. And when they open again, people don't listen and it gets worse and we close again. You have to be able to take time that you don't have to stress. So, like, when you're not doing class stuff, when you're not working, you're spending time with like family or like, doing something productive. And I really like that viewpoint by Sharky because it's true, and maybe some things that people forget, especially in this time. Like you have the right to do with your time what you will, but you should take advantage of the free time for sure that you have. And then finally, Blair talks about dating apps, which is not new to this generation. But it's something that older generations are kind of still maybe struggling to understand. Blair does a really good job of kind of showing how like both sides of the situation, dating apps are good in the sense of like they can bring you together from pretty much literally anywhere across the world. Talk to somebody, get to know somebody, make a friend, start dating. Who knows? Get married, have kids, the whole American dream type thing. Um, but on the other side, it's maybe humiliating for some people to have their own life or to have their like have their personalities kind of displayed in words and pictures, and that's the only thing you get judged on before you even talk to somebody. And I totally 100% understand um, where they're coming from with this. So I really appreciated this entire discussion. I really liked seeing how these essays are kind of like targeted at certain audiences, um, which has been kind of true and distinctive for each one. And overall, I think this was a really good discussion. Really good comments on everything, per usual. Smart class. And that's all I got for this one.